Wale wanataka kuendelea na matusi, hiyo ni shauri yao. Sisi hatuna chuki na mtu, tunapenda nchi yetu.
Ladies and gentlemen, today there were 3 key major events that were taking place in the country. The first one is that one of Gusii Stadium, where the ODM was celebrating their 20th anniversary. And I'm going to do an extensive analysis on that because there are also key things that occurred there. The second one, it was the Martha Karua's party PLP NDC that took place again, where all other principals of the opposition attended.
Pale Mbeere North, there is a by-election in Mbeere North. Watu huku tumeongea na tumekubaliana. Tumesema nyinyi mkule maneno, mfanye kama watu ya Kipipiri. Watu ya Mbeere pale, the place is like Europe. Hata change hakuna. The currency in Mbeere is 1,000.
I'm going as well to do an extensive video on that. Ladies and gentlemen, the other one that also occurred, which I want to talk about on this particular video, is the Jubilee NDC. And just like you and me, many other Kenyans focused on what Uhuru Kenyatta was going to say in that particular function and the resolutions that are going to be made, that were going to be made in the same function. And that is what I want to take you through here on this particular channel. But before I take you through, ladies and gentlemen, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, kindly feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, my number is always here. Feel free to contact me and share with me on any political matter that you feel I need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. Uhuru Kenyatta gave a wide speech. And in this speech, he intended actually to pass a specific message to Kenyans. And the message that he was passing is this: Jubilee is out and is seriously going to take part in the 2027 general elections. First, before having a coalition, as a party first.
Like any other political party, we shall be preparing for the next general election, and doing so in earnest. And it remains our firm intention to field the best possible candidates for all elective positions.
Secondly, Uhuru Kenyatta actually captured various parts of his administration, where he talked about the achievements that he made, and of course he went ahead also to highlight some of the failures. And the one that caught my attention, it is the aspect of corruption which was up there during Uhuru Kenyatta's time. It was ideal for a leader of that caliber to recognize such kind of failures, which I've not seen in other leaders. Most of them actually even want to become president of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, so from the entire event and Uhuru Kenyatta's speech, there are key observations that I made and the conclusions, and that's what I want to take you through. Let me start with the observations. Number one thing that I learned from this particular function, especially Uhuru Kenyatta's speech, it is that Uhuru Kenyatta will get into active politics before 2027.
Na mimi nitajitolea sasa, kwa sababu tumesema tunataka kuanzisha recruitment drive, kuanza kuzunguka mashinani kila area, tupatane na nyinyi, tuongee pamoja na nyinyi.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no other form of engagement other than getting on top of the car, moving to various parts of the country, and talking to Kenyans. That was one thing that I waited to hear. Because there is no way you believe you can have a candidate, like, say, Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i, and then expect the candidate who is not an orator on political matters, who has not campaigned before, now to just be left alone. It needed Uhuru Kenyatta's intervention because he's one of the best orators we have in the country. And in fact, if there's one thing that will threaten now, it will shake the entire political terrain of the country, it's Uhuru Kenyatta's entry into active politics. Because I have always said, he might not be liked as such, but he's one of the people in the country, among the few people in the country who are orators, people able to speak to the common Mwananchi's heart. The other thing that I learned is that William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta are not in good terms, and probably there's no deal between them. Because I noted that, yes, Uhuru Kenyatta hit other politicians, but it was much more hitting William Ruto than any other. So I learned that he's injecting indirectly, which shows very well that they don't have a good relationship. A clear indication that now Uhuru Kenyatta is ready to face President William Ruto in the political terrain. And I think this is scary to William Ruto. Because if Uhuru Kenyatta today, assuming he manages to work with Rigathi Gachagua, and then they take the entire Mount Kenya region together, then they support a specific candidate, William Ruto knows very well that the wave that we will face, even William Ruto, even Raila Amolo Odinga, will not be able to help. And there's a likelihood Raila Amolo Odinga might even jump ship, because these are the people who have worked together before. That is Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. So this is very scary for President William Ruto. But in a nutshell, the relationship between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto is not good. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing I noticed is this. The narratives that William Ruto used to make back in 2022, Uhuru Kenyatta has not forgotten them. Because he even alluded that when he was speaking sense to Kenyans, people did not hear because of the negative narratives that William Ruto was spreading against his government. The type of bleeding that he caused in Uhuru Kenyatta's government, that is William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta has not forgiven him. Because he went ahead to mention things like the dynasty, and he mocked William Ruto. Actually, he talked about the abolishment of some of the policies that were good to Kenyans, but William Ruto abolished because of his relationship with Uhuru Kenyatta. And he also went ahead to mention William Ruto's mismanagement of the country, especially in relation to some policies that were brought on board. So in a nutshell, William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta are now political antagonists officially. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I was able to note is this. Uhuru Kenyatta did not spare Rigathi Gachagua, a clear indication that they are not in good terms. Personally, from Rigathi Gachagua's statements, where he has been praising Uhuru Kenyatta, calling him the son of the mountain, their leader they respect, and that is a person they should allow to go to retire in peace, I thought maybe probably there could have been a meeting somewhere where the two have met, discussed something tangible about the Kenyan affairs. But now when Uhuru Kenyatta came out to mock the issue of Rigathi Gachagua about regional parties, where he had been asking Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i to form a party that the Gusii community will embrace first.
Hii ya kusema ati chama hii ni ya upande hii, chama ni ya upande hii, chama ni ya upande hii. La, wacha tuwe na national parties ambazo zinaunganishwa kwa sababu ya sera, lakini sio kwa sababu ya pahali ambapo zimetoka.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a clear indication that Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta are reading from different pages. They are not in the same page. They are not having the same language. And probably they might not be together towards 2027 unless they decided today, which is also my wish, that they work together. Because taking out President William Ruto, it requires both Uhuru Kenyatta, Rigathi Gachagua, and also the entire opposition like Kalonzo Musyoka to combine their numbers. Apart from that, to also have a collective objective towards getting William Ruto out of office. But if they divide their efforts, they completely destroy the momentum, and most worrying, give William Ruto strength. So from the entire speech that Uhuru Kenyatta made and the entire NDC of the Jubilee Party, I made two conclusions that I want to share with you here. Number one, Uhuru Kenyatta is beyond Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i's decision to join the Jubilee Party, in that he actually advised Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i that it's ideal for him to join the Jubilee Party and run with it in 2027. I'm saying this because of the kind of attack that Uhuru Kenyatta made to Rigathi Gachagua in relation to Rigathi Gachagua's call for regional parties. That is number one. Number two conclusion that I made, it is a Jubilee Party is determined to field a candidate in 2027 regardless of what the opposition might want, either to work with them or not. They will have a candidate at the ballot for 2027. And that is what shows very well that opposition is now going either to break or to realign itself to fit in the political terrain towards bringing down President William Ruto in 2027. I'm going to do an extensive analysis on that. But ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity first of all to thank you for supporting my channel all through until we are here today. I'm now heading to the 15,000 subscription mark. Please make sure that you're part of the journey. Thank you so much for those who support this channel, and thank you so much for always watching my videos. See you next time for more videos.